Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo time trial where you can see we're at Dragontrail Seaside in Group 3. So a double Group 3 week this time. It's a bit weird to be honest with you. See the track is there. You can see we're in Group 3 racing hard tyres, which means it's very slippy indeed, which is why I've put the goal difficulty at hard. The goal time estimate I'm going to guess is around at 1:39.5. There's going to be a few quirks in there, especially with the curbs. So do expect that time to come down to around there, I suspect. Now, as I say, this is a slippy one, so if you do want guides in the future, if it gets slippy again, do subscribe to the channel, and hopefully these guides are of help to you. But without further ado, it's time to jump into the race, or into the lap, should I say. So off we go then, as we head towards turn number 1. So we're in the Toyota Supra because it's a very fast car in a straight line. As we head towards turn 1, you've got a choice here. So I use the orange barrier on the left-hand side. You can try and use the start of the curb, but the barrier on the left is literally the perfect marker. I brake literally as it hits the edge of my screen. You can see I've just started braking right now, which is the edge of my screen. And we're going to slow the car down. Be careful about turning as you brake. I suffered that a lot here in the Supra. Just be careful as you go over the crest of the hill here. Lots of power oversteer to be had. If you're in an MR car, it's less prevalent, of course. But in the Supra, it spins its wheels a lot. Going through here, the kink, you might want to lift a little bit here to make sure you don't understeer off. And as you go into this braking zone, brake in a straight line. Always brake in a straight line. Now, it's either the end of the gravel on your left, the first one, or the start of the gravel on your next, depending on your car. In the Supra, it's the first one here on the left-hand side, the first square. Okay, you're going to brake in a straight line as well as we slow it down. Stay towards the left. Don't turn in too early. I dropped the first gear to get it rotated a little bit, then second gear. Be careful on exit. Once again, power oversteer, very prominent there as we head down towards the S's then. Now, we're using the brake marker I always use here. On the left-hand side, we have the orange barrier there. Very easy marker here, okay? You're going to brake and drop a gear and turn in. In the Supra, I'm trying to stay above 110 miles an hour. The kilometers now will also show in a second because it's there for you. But as I turn into here, notice how I'm trying to stay above 110, and I do that there, so 179 kilometers an hour. Through the right, I go. I lift a tiny bit here to get it over towards the right side, but you don't want to lift here. You want to stay in 5th gear and really, really go through the corner. You have to keep your foot to the floor to really gain the time there. As we head down to Cruise Corner, as we're naming it, with the cruise liner up ahead. Now, highlighted 3 brake markers. The one I'm using is the start of the curb on the left-hand side. If you don't like that marker, you've got the 150 board on the top left, or on the right side as the cliff starts to dive there. If you're in a car which has better brakes or doesn't have quite the top speed, you can use that as well. So coming into here, I dropped the first gear to really slow the car down with the engine braking. Not a lot of grip there, so the engine braking is amplified, of course. As we leave the corner, be careful of power oversteer. Straighten up that steering very quickly as we head towards the chicane of death there. Now, with this one, you can nearly do it flat. I couldn't quite do it flat. I've highlighted 2 markers here. I don't use these, but they're references just for you, okay? So you can lift slightly here and then go back on the power, either using the Marshall or the gantry, okay? Because you want to turn in and you want to force the understeer, okay? So we force the understeer here. We get very close to the barrier there. Being an FR car, it's very stable through there. If you choose an MR car, which is a mid-engined rear-wheel drive car, the front will lift a little bit and you'll hit the barrier more often. If you do hit the barrier in this one, it instantly invalidates the lap, even if you tap it slightly, so do just keep that in mind. The last corner then, you can use as the mounting ends on the left-hand side, the 100 board, or to start the curb. Now, I'm actually braking just before the 100 here. That's how I'm referencing it. But that mounting on the left-hand side, I'm going to use in the future because that's a really nice marker, and it's exactly where I want to brake. Later apex for this corner. Be careful on exit. Lots of oversteer to be had there. And as we head towards the line, you can cut this little kink here. I chose not to on this particular lap. And as we get towards the end then, we're going to get a 1:37.4. 1:30.60s are definitely possible here, so do keep an eye out for them. And I've already referenced that gold time in the intro. So I'm going to go into a fast lap now, in towards the braking zone, using that orange painted barrier on the left-hand side. We turn in. We be careful as we accelerate here. Notice I'm bouncing the throttle there as I go over the crest of the hill, because you will spin the car. I guarantee it, at least once you'll spin it there. As we head down towards the kink, I'm going to turn in here. I'm going to lift a little bit here to make sure I make the corner. Start the gravel there on the left-hand side. I hit the brakes. Now drop the first gear to turn in slightly. Second gear. Be careful on exit. Again, balance the car, straighten the wheel, and off you go. Foot to the floor. We're going to head towards the S's. On the S's, we're going to use the orange barrier on the left-hand side. We're going to hit the brakes, 4th gear. Try and stay above 110 miles an hour or 180 kilometers an hour if you can. Through the right we go. We lift slightly here to get it over towards the right-hand side. And as we go towards the left, we keep our foot to the floor now. 5th gear as we continue on through. You can go over the curbs in some cars there, but do be careful if you do. Heading down to Cruise Corner then, we're going to use the start of the curb on the left-hand side. In towards the braking zone we go. Again, down to 1st gear. Get that engine braking. 2nd gear, short shift. Then accelerate out. Straighten the car up as much as we can. And continue on through there. Be careful of oversteer once again. Head towards the chicane of death then. We're going to go through here flat out. And as we get towards the gantry, the marshal lift slightly, turn in, and just full throttle it through, hoping you make it like I do there. You are going to have to really put your foot down there to get a good time. There's so much time to be had there as we head towards the final corner. I'm looking at the 100 board here, but you can use the mounts on the left-hand side as we go into the braking zone. Later apex here. So I go in, I turn in late, and then I accelerate out, point and squirt to avoid that power oversteer. And I'm going to head towards the line, which, as you saw earlier on in the slower version of this lap, was a 1:37.4 there for you. Hopefully this guide has been of use to you folks. I really do choose a car that you like, and not necessarily the Toyota Supra. I use the McLaren 650S, for example. That can get in the 37s, and that is much more stable on exit, so it might be one for you to use rather than this Toyota Supra. As I say, that is it for me. If you do enjoy these lap guides, if there's anything you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments. Happy to improve them where I can. But as I say, that is it for me. If you're struggling on last week's time trial guide at Catalunya, it's right there for you. Otherwise, there's another video there to check out if you want to see what's going on in terms of the racing world. But that's it for me, folks. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.